into the not Feywild, sorry, wrong game. As the team wanders back into the Underdark, back and exploring to this desolate place, you manage to get Gobo back after his little insurrection. Managed to find pebbles, and he led you towards a trap. There's really no way of getting around that, but he was okay. Not the best guy in the world, but he was okay. Defeating another beholder, this time actually defeating one instead of just watching it, your team took it down quite easily. And afterwards, Pebble just left to go off and live his own life. They had a game. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but I don't like how the module is written. He was supposed to betray you. He's not a good guy. But like 98% of people you meet aren't good people, so I don't like that. Yeah, so I changed it up. He still betrayed you in a way, but you at least knew about it.
Yeah. We were able to set up a trap.
Yeah. But leaving him to his own devices, and eventually he will find his own life. You go back down after, well, some time. After Gothos managed to find and like extract the big eye, it was determined that, yeah, you can't exactly put that in a bag of holding or else something might happen. Maybe. You've never really tried it. So you decided to go to the closest city, at least possible, in this current point in time. And I don't remember what city you went or are heading towards.
I think we settled on the fish people one.
I'm saying we decided to head to Sloopadoop or something like that.
Yeah.
Hmm?
That's the fishy town, Sloopadoop.
Yeah. With non-player characters leading the way, you eventually do find yourselves at the Dark Lake. Your expeditionary force reaches the Dark Lake without too much of an issue, and begins to build rafts and the like to just go ahead and seek the Underdark where the Durgar and Kotoa are. You manage to get to the lake itself, and you do see a few Kotoa there, just ferrying people from place to place, but most of them are Underdark individuals.
Right,
you do
like
find one ferry that looks towards you when you're like building your own rafts. Evening, folks. This is all Underdark, but I think some of you understand it. Fancy little lift. I can take about 8 of you. Maybe not 35, but I can find a few other people. Is there a place you're heading towards?
I think we're trying to make our way to Sloopadoop.
Oh, it shouldn't take much more than a day and a half.
Interesting. How does his raft look in comparison to ours? Like we're making.
You can finish your raft within like the hour, and it's not better than his, but you won't have to pay.
And we'll like all be able to go together.
Do we have the ability to make a raft capable of carrying something large, heavy, and metal?
Yeah, like it'll take some time, but you would eventually make a couple of rafts for your NPCs. The giant robot. The giant robot will take up more spaces than anyone else, but it's still doable.
Yeah, what do you say we hire you as a guide, my friend, Krakoan friend?
I suppose that's fine. I still have like 8 spaces in my ferry if you'd like, other people to follow. But overall, more than welcome to. I'll wait here for a while. It should only cost, since I'm only leading you there, I suppose. I might need to take some people there if you're not taking the boat yourselves. About a gold.
Yeah. I pay him 1 gold.
Yeah. You pay him a gold. He basically waits there until you finish making your rafts. Well, not you, the 35 other people that are also there.
Our minions.
Gothos, I have a question about Tannhauser. Would you
Yeah,
say
sure.
Tannhauser is reasonably intelligent as far as animals go?
Yeah, full sentience there, but
Oh, okay, excellent. Well, I've been kind of working on my notes and came up with a new ability and that I've been wanting to try out here. And I mean, nothing major, but did occur to me that it might be worth including Tannhauser in with its perks, which actually would help you directly with them anyway. Basically, I can now forge a telepathic bond for the limited period of time under, so if we're in a situation where we need to split up but need to be in contact with each other, I can go ahead and cast that. And I can do that to up to 8 willing creatures total, so that could include Tannhauser. So, hey, you
at
could have a
that
remote
point,
control mount that way.
if I'm riding Tannhauser right now, I'll probably just like put up 2 fingers so that like Tannhauser couldn't possibly see my hands. And then Tannhauser will put up 2 legs, and I'll put up three legs. Yeah, we already got that. Thanks though.
Well, I was thinking along the lines of you're separated from Tannhauser, or something terrible happens in combat and you're unconscious, but Tannhauser isn't.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, if you want to form a telepathic bond, sure, but
Yeah. It'd be something I'd include the whole group in on, but since it only lasts an hour, we'd probably want to plan for that, but just wanted to get an idea in advance of who I'd be casting on. I think all the principals in the group, of course. Tannhauser being included, that brings, 5 of us? I guess we'd probably want to add Slash and Antidote. Who do you think would be a good 8th person if they're up for it?
Honestly, you guys probably don't want to hear it, but Eldith probably has a lot of sway with all these factions, what with being the niece of a king and whatnot. If you want to keep them in line, she'd probably be good for that.
All right, yeah, that'll probably be the go-to option, although maybe we shouldn't tell her that's possible immediately, so we don't spam the party line.
She's like right there when you're speaking. He didn't say you went to the side to speak with Gothos. He just said, "Hey,
she's
Gothos!"
just glaring at you.
Like, she doesn't care. Like, one way or the other, you're not actively going against her. You're just more or less being rude. She's dealt with that with Kobo, so she's kind of used to it.
She's into that.
No, she's just aware that your team is like this. Unfortunate. But yeah.
Not really unfortunate. It's more of a reaction. If she hadn't been so bad.
It honestly
Be the change you want to see in the world.
Okay.
Be good. Maybe. As your team finishes constructing their rafts, the ferryman just looks at you all. All right, then it shouldn't be too much of an issue. I've changed my cadence here because I forgot how I spoke before, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue. I think it's like this. So then, anyone you going to visit, or are you simply wandering about?
I guess wandering about.
Yeah, go on.
We're seeking what you might call a biological craftsman. I guess that's not really helpful. People make lots of stuff with wood and well, yeah, that's basically what I expected. Come on, Frey boy.
All right. While he's leading you and you guys are on your rafts, a little bit crickety, but you're able to get on them without falling over. You're being led by his rope, most of you. He does pick a few people here and there because you guys aren't using the space that he has. But might as well make a little bit more cash. But as you get towards your destination, a day does pass. You eat your rations. You guys have been hunting this entire time. I'm just not going to make you roll for it. Thanks to your expedient motions here, you still have some rations. So you're honestly fine right now. Unless they spoil.
If it becomes an issue, yeah, I feel as though I could conjure some from thin air now that I'm more powerful. No,
But as you get here without too much of a concern or response, really, you do hear them state, after some while, after leading some people away and you're spending the night, well, I should tell you that something has been going on in the city itself. From what I've heard, there are some attacks that have happened and transpired relatively recently. So I do advise caution.
what do you got there? Religious persecution?
Frankly, I don't really know. Don't really travel there that often. I do travel from time to time there, at least the outskirts, but I don't go into the city itself.
Do you live on the raft then?
Yeah, raft, port city towns here and there. Go fishing whenever I need to eat. Don't really need to go inside the city really that often.
The city that we're going to.
Oh, right. I just let people hop off, hop on the harbor side, and that's basically it.
How do you hear the news?
People that I take and bring? It's what I just said, sir.
Okay, all right. Just figure you don't go into the city.
Interesting.
How do you know
If you don't go into the city, how do you know about the city? I pick people up from the city and drop them there. No, he's not evil. He's just telling you.
What do you know, Fishman?
But you do eventually arrive about halfway soon after into the harbor side. And you can tell, well, it's fine-ish. As you enter into the actual city itself, you can tell that... As you begin to wander into the city of Slippertip itself, you can tell that this place was something was about to happen. Something major and something big, and your team decided to leave because it was dangerous. Yeah, so you did leave two people behind here. One was Shishar the Awakened, and another was Tactics. Not his name,
right.
but it was Alrich.
That's how we know him.
Yeah. But regardless of that, your team did manage to escape that area without too much of a concern or worry. Well, maybe not a concern or a worry, but without being caught. But on the other hand, your team also doesn't know what happened there. And as you enter inside, you can tell that there are strange aboriginal things there. Not aboriginal. As you go into the area...
Strange aboriginal things. Just like a guy with a rain stick.
As you go into the settlement itself, you can tell that various structures have been crushed down for some reason or another. You do see half of the Krotoa population in the area just no longer present or available. You do see some few people that are burned to a crisp in some corners here and there. And you can tell that some people in the alleyways while you walk through the area are more or less stark mad for some reason or another. As you walk through the street, you can tell that there are altar shrines that weren't there beforehand. You were here before, and there were some shrines, but not these kind. Standing before you, some of them, at the very least, are twisted spires in a Y-shaped position. Others have two-headed creatures mounted manta ray-like bodies and tentacles all about it. Other shrines do depict some type of demonic creatures here and there, piled up around it, skulls and bones, with maze-like patterns all about it. And as well as some mushrooms growing alongside that. You can tell that there's some commotion going about in the middle of the city, which is when you find, well, your former friends, allies, fellow prison break escapees. Switching over to the map. Oh man, it was a while ago. Took me a while to scroll there.
What do you got here? Abyssal proselytizing?
Man, you have a very big group. As your team wanders back into the area they had not forsaken, but bailed on.
Hey, I accept no blame in this.
Bailed on. You can tell that Shishar, the Awakened, is currently speaking with two people in the area. You can tell that they're currently having a feud, but he does talk with them, and slowly and surely he does get them to calm down. You know this man as more or less a pacifist, which is able to calm down the nerves and steady the mind. With everything that's going on, with everything you have currently seen, that's definitely someone to adhere to and to draw some type of leadership from. So maybe it's a good thing you abandoned him here and potentially left him to die. But thankfully enough, he survived.
His hometown.
And potentially left him to die.
Wait, he wanted to stay here, though. What the heck?
And potentially left him to die.
Yes, all things live and die by their own volition. Thank
Yes. You could have also stayed and potentially protected him. Doesn't matter though.
Oh, and left ourselves to die, except for me because I wasn't there.
Fair enough. He does calm them down and eventually do walk away. However, when they do walk away, he does notice you all. Outridge is also there, more or less in a bodyguard position. And he does not greet all of you guys. And Shishar does come over towards the main staple of the team. Not these NPCs, but these PCs. I'm gonna move them here. Move you guys there. I don't know why Kobo went back. I was literally moving everyone forwards.
Kobo did nothing of the sort.
I mean,
Was
Gathos.
I? What the?
Sorry, I was moving Kobo when I noticed you moved back. Shishar comes over and he does say, welcome my friends. It has been some time. Almost half a year now.
You seem to be doing great.
I
Just,
get
looking around at all the bodies and stuff.
bodies, weird monuments here and there. I make sure that those that remain are taken care for and taken into a greater mind state. Outridge is here. He nods, helping me out and essentially keeping me and everyone else safe.
So, what exactly did happen these last few months?
It's all a blur, and I'm not going to tell you because I accidentally closed the PDF. Give me a second.
I am tired now. We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
Okay. He does state, well, it has been a rather unfortunate event, but before you all left, there was something going on. You already knew that, which is why you left. But I had to make sure that my people and everyone else was taken care of. I obviously understand that this wasn't your fight and you just needed to go, which is perfectly alright. We all have our own paths to take in life.
Hey, we stopped the demonic wedding on the way out, so...
For what? We can talk about that later. I'm not sure why you did that. He doesn't know what you mean. He just said, hey, we stopped a demonic wedding. Is that some sort of weird phrasing? Were they bad people? Were you just being mean? This is his thought pattern. He's going like, we can talk about that later.
They were enslaving a population, whatever.
It's not what you said until now. But also you can't read his mind, so you wouldn't need to define it. It doesn't matter though. He does state, but while you were gone, there was something that was summoned by a different faction from the city itself that was fighting one another. I don't know if you know what it is, but a strange being that is almost ape-like with 2 heads and tendrilled hands. Many people do describe this as a demigorgon. strange demonic beast from the abyss itself, rather. You can see, I'm assuming, the various monuments in the city with the Y shapes and the two-headed monstrosities.
Oh, that's what that's about, huh? Two-headed ape god.
No, not a god. A demon lord. Something that can... he points to someone that's currently going mad in the corner. Not uncleanse. Break the mind, rather. Unfortunately, after it, his power is still here, grows, well, there's really nothing I can do about it other than prevent those that have yet to succumb to it, It is unfortunate, but I do what I can. Also, don't step in the fervent pools of ooze here and there with spores around it. It's a bit acidic, and you could potentially lose your foot. Those have been recently here. I don't really know why, though. I did lose a pinky toe when I accidentally stepped in it. So watch out for those.
Oh, I didn't know you had those.
You look, and he has like pronged feet. Like a fish, like a flipper. But the prongs could be toes. I don't know. Either way, he does state, but enough about me and the city itself. If you'd like to talk more about it, I'm more than willing to speak about it. But I've already put a damper on this. Honestly, warm welcome. What brings you here? Other than a visit, which is quite nice.
Oh, we killed and then butchered a beholder and are trying to do something with its eye.
Oh, that's morbid.
I mean, just looking around the city.
That doesn't make it any better.
Pot, kettle.
He's not the one that's doing it. He's the one that's preventing it to getting to 100%.
These beholders are not great people, alright?
We all have our faults, so I shan't point out anyone else's. But alright then.
They try to kill us.
Well, prevention of that and defense are one thing than the other. Actively being spiteful is another in turn. But again, I'm not going to judge anyone else's faults. I do have some of my own. Last Tuesday, I indulged myself with 3 cookies instead of 2. But I'm assuming you're looking for a specialist then. With the whole eye.
Yeah, got a few concerns. We don't really have the skill ourselves to make the best use of it.
Really? He looks towards Kobo, Toulouse, and Boom, and Rest. And all of you agree on that? You all seem rather capable, and knowing Toulouse and Kobo, you have proven yourselves quite intelligent. I'm sure Gothos means nothing by this.
You guys know how to make stuff out of beholder eyes?
I don't think you ever asked.
I'm asking now.
No one says anything.
Yeah, I'll take that as a no then.
I would say, honestly, Toulouse might have knowledge on this, but wouldn't know how to make it, but has seen someone make it. More than likely taken a job from a high mage and had to watch this type of process.
Should I roll history or something?
Yeah. Let's see how much you remember.
Everything?
Oh,
You remember everything! You took when you were working for noblemen and things of that nature, jobs you didn't like, but they paid very well. You remember a specialist like preserving raw flesh and materials from various creatures, and you did see them have a beholder eye. You saw them able to preserve it in what is essentially a compact material of things, mainly silvers and golds, to keep them steady. And you also saw them basically cast it in some type of liquid chemical mixture that you honestly have seen Antidote carry, or at least have the components that would make that type of mixture to solidify it and keep it preserved. It's basically ambering the eye without necessarily damaging it, or honestly preserving it, because it's still actively working. It's just allowing it to continuously stay in one form and mass. But you can tell that this is information you already have, and with the knowledge you possess, just keeping an eye on this guy, making sure nothing blows up, and if it does, keeping that one merchant safe, you can help on this, and anyone that does, work on it will have advantage. You yourself could potentially do it, and if you have Antidote help you, also advantage.
Would I be able to help as well? Just to add inspiration and or luck to the roll?
With those, yes. With your knowledge set, no. Kobo, you can't even read, man.
Actually, we need to roleplay that out yet. We did.
Yeah.
I did learn how to read, but we need to roleplay that out.
Okay, that's fair. You can barely read, man. You can read.
But I do have
you can't read fast, though.
Studies through Toulouse.
That is true.
What?
You guys were helping, well, not helping each other, but you were helping him learn how to read.
Yeah, I couldn't hear him, sorry.
Yeah, you're a little far away.
Sorry, you were you were teaching me how to read, and a dogma said that I did learn how to read, but you and I never got to actually roleplay that scene.
Yeah, we only got to roleplay a few times, but we got to roleplay a couple of times through a couple of different games here and there. Like I even made a joke with not a joke, but I even offered the same courtesy to Brack. Yeah.
Go, Hobgoblin, go.
And then what do I need to roll?
If you yourself want to do it, you have the knowledge, and if you just want to help someone else, you have the knowledge to give them an advantage. But if you yourself want to do it, you would need to make a chemical mixture to preserve the eye, which Antidote does have materials for it. He will be stripped of this materials, but he does have it, so he can definitely use it. You would have to make the solidifying material to coat the eye in to preserve it. He doesn't have that knowledge, you do, so if you show him, he would get an advantage, or if he helps you, you would gain an advantage, so either way works.
Okay.
And I have Arcana, which might help a little bit, but my biggest help is simply being able to give you inspiration and luck for the roll, just in case.
Yeah. The Arcana check after the medicine check would be to make a fundamental cage system to have the eye encased, so you don't have to continuously wrap it up in garb to if you make the medicine check, you don't need to do that technically anymore, but it's to not mold it or accidentally warp the eye.
Okay, so I make a medicine check?
Yeah, the first one, and then afterwards Arcana. If you succeed.
Okay, and that's at advantage with inspiration and then luck, if needed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shashar does bring you to a workstation, so you don't do this in the middle of the street. And you have the materials for it. Antidote does help you out, giving you advantage. You show him how to make the concoction, and over the course of time, he does make it. Toulouse, you pour it on to make sure how to coat it, and you begin to move it, allowing the eye now to be fully encased in an amber preservation type of mixture. Once preserved, and Kobo just saying, more or less being a cheerleader in the background, rooting you for you, you can tell that you have done it quite well. The eye will be preserved, and it'll continuously do so long as you don't, punch it. But you can tell that this type of mixture is not rock solid, so you will have to form a cage to not preserve the eye, but keep it from warping. That type of thing would require metals of purity, so silver or gold. Do you guys have that?
I mean, yeah,
Yep,
I have money.
You can use your money, but it's going to be a lot of money.
I mean, I have some weapons, like some daggers and stuff, but I don't know if they're silver. I don't think they're.
If
And I
you
only
use
have-
+1 weapons, I'm going to say that's fine. You can use those. If you're going to use money, circumference, diameter. If you just do like a wire mesh instead of an entire coat, 200 gold and like 100 silver. If you do the entire coating rather than a wire mesh, probably 500 gold. If you add silver into that, probably 300 gold and 200 silver. Depends on how you want it styled, I guess.
Golden wrecking ball of coins. How can I resist?
Okay, yeah. I mean, I have money. How much was the?
This money is like recoverable, right?
No, you'd be
Pretty sure it's-
melding it and coating it on the eye. Like essentially, you still have it. It's just no longer a coin.
Yeah, you're literally forging it into a.
Into a case, honestly.
Well, I
Yeah, hey
have
Shard, are there any like blacksmiths in town that could, I don't know, lightly coat something in silver?
Eldridge steps up, says tactics, and then states,
Yeah.
I have been working on blacksmithing from time to time whenever I get a chance. I could potentially do this. The last one we had currently went mad. So no, it's either me or one of your own team. Maybe one of your own team has blacksmith knowledge. Brack isn't here, so no.
Now you know what we got, pal. You know how to make gold leaf?
I do, but you would need something sturdier than gold leaf.
Oh no, yeah, like a wooden box and then gold leaf on the inside.
I mean, yes, but I thought we were making a shell casing rather than a box to hold it in.
In which case, if we're gonna make like a shell, I don't know, like a base metal, like iron or something, and then we'll coat the inside in gold.
Oh, no, that would temper the eye and potentially cause it to be blinded. With the chemical concoction that Miss Toulouse had... Oh, wait, Toulouse, he knows you're a boy. He's been with you for a while. That Sir Toulouse has mentioned, that would preserve it for a while, but if it is a impure metal, it would eventually corrupt the eye. It's one of the reasons why fake eyes are made out of gold or silver.
So you couldn't gold plate the cage, is what I'm asking.
I mean, we can. It's just after a while, it will seep in. I suppose it depends on how much you or how long you want this. It will take some time, though. A couple months, maybe a few years before it happens.
Gothos, weren't we just taking this to some other guy who's actually going to turn it into like a different magic item type thing for you?
Yeah, that would be the ideal. I don't suppose there's anybody in town who could do something like that, huh?
Shashar does state, in this town, no. I have heard of someone in the... what's it called when the tree becomes a fossil?
Awesome. Well, petrified, yeah.
Petrified. Yeah, thank you.
Petrified.
Within the petrified forest, but I don't know them personally. He shows you a map, shows you where it is. They might be able to help you.
How big of a detour is this?
Half a day's travel from here.
Okay, anybody? Sound good?
You are making this though, so you can make a item.
Should I finish what we were doing, or
I think Gothos just is the one that loses money.
I
I
was
don't know?
trying
I
to
was
be
gonna try to
efficient
use
with
one of
this.
my daggers, and then, or are we stopping? We're not doing it anymore.
Like, if you have +1 daggers, I'm gonna say those can be made out of silver and metal, or gold metal. That's fine. That's easily enough done. If you want to use coins, that's a big chunk of money, but it's entirely up to you. And Alrich did state if you use non-purified metals, you can do that, but after a while, the item might be damaged or destroyed.
Mhm.
But that will take like months or years. It depends on how long you want this thing.
Okay.
And then
it's your
when
call,
Gothos heard that, he goes like, "Can we go find someone else to do this?"
Yeah, I mean it's your call, Gothos. It's your thing.
Jeez, I don't even know what I'm gonna make out of it now.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
We're basically doing
I-
this because Toulouse knows how to preserve the thing and like
yeah.
begin the process of making a magical item.
I rolled
Go ahead.
well on history and well on. I rolled well. That's why.
There's still Arcana, but sorry, there's still Arcana. Basically making the shell of metal. So this thing is actually something that can be used. But if you don't want to and want to wait, you can. With the first casing, it is preserved and won't warp super fast, and it won't like deteriorate anymore, unless you like actively mess with it. Which is why the metal casing was needed. But as
Right,
long as you're
okay.
like doing it almost immediately, it should be fine.
Yeah, Ulrich, how long is it gonna even take you to make this thing?
Smelting the metal, roughly a few hours, and then with the work process itself, making a mold and then doing that itself, I'd say the entire process, the rest of this day, give or take.
Alright, well, why don't you get started on the mold, and we'll go talk to this person in the petrified forest.
Mold should only take a few hours, so all right. He takes like dimensions of the eye itself. You can tell like when he touches it, it's fine, but you can tell that it's less circular now. So if you keep messing with it, it will take a different shape. So be careful with that. You
Yes,
wrap it up
sir.
again,
Okay.
put it in your bag. He goes, "All right,
Yeah.
then I think I have everything," and begins the process.
So half a day's travel there. If the guy can't do anything with it, we come back. That's another half a day, and we hopefully get it in the cage soon.
You be here tomorrow morning.
Yeah. We have to sleep.
Okay.
I've got a spare shield. I think it's a round shield. Can we like put it in that to help the shape a little bit?
It's Gothos, it's fine right now. It's like if you keep like messing with it, like keep touching it, if you just leave it in your bag, it's fine.
Okay.
It's like Play-Doh. The thing will keep its shape, but if you like touch it or mess with it, it'll warp.
Okay.
Weird way of phrasing it, but yeah, I like Play-Doh. But your team, after Shishara says the goodbyes and greets you once again, or says he'll greet you once again when and upon your return, hopefully. He
we'll
says
be
as a
back.
joke, but knowing your guys' luck, it might not be a joke. You return back into the dark and begin to journey forth towards the petrified forest location. As you re-enter back into the plain, you do see that the trees themselves, after some time, instead of being verdant green, become a weird gray and then a black charcoal color. Some of them pure white to a degree of, well, looking like calcium bone. When I'm going to say Kobo or Boom get curious and begin to touch it, some of it just breaks upon their hand and nothing really happens except for it has a weird sooty feel to it. Which, go ahead and roll a medicine check. Any one of you.
I'm so wise.
Beats a 7. Based on the thing you see, Boom, it is more or less breakable. If you want to punch trees, you totally can.
Oops, I still had advantage on. Sorry.
It's fine. We'll just take the 4.
Normal.
You see Boom like contemplating wanting to punch trees. That's all you get. But Gothos and Kobo, you guys can tell that based off how this thing just easily broke, it began to make like some noise underneath the palm, like cracking leaves. So if you aren't careful, or if you're trying to be stealthy, watch where you step. Also, based off of how brittle it is, it has been petrified like recently. This type of thing would take weathering and extreme weathering for a good amount of time. Based off how thin the layering is, this was almost instantaneously done, allowing the trees to be extremely brittle and of that nature. Which means recently, but not like last week, more like within the last few years.
Yeah, this whole thing seems magical to me.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, does anybody can anybody cast detect magic?
I mean, I can, but then I can't smite people.
I haven't learned it yet.
I mean, it seems I don't even feel it's necessary to detect magic. There's magic. There's been some magic.
There we go. Now my audio's working.
There you go.
So I've been
The trees are made of tissue paper.
So do you
Yeah.
punch tree, Kobo? YN. Sorry, Boom.
Yeah, I heard the audio, so I heard about the trees being crumbly. But my question from before was that do we know why this forest was petrified?
No, normal petrification would require time or weathering, extreme weathering, like a massive forest fire, but not like this. This seems strange and out of place. Kobo and Gothos were able to determine that this happened a few years ago, and it happened so instantaneously that the things underneath the first layer, like, were washed away, and this was what remained, which allowed that brittleness.
So anybody got any theories on whether there's something that did this that can kill us?
I mean, the guy who supposedly lives here seems like a pretty good bet. Good thing we didn't get his name. That's going to be helpful for introductions.
You didn't. You never asked.
Oh, by the way,
got a map to
Gothos,
his house.
while it's really expensive, if you need to reshape your eyeball, I do have a trick that can work.
Hopefully it won't come to that, but I'm glad everyone's so invested in this.
Well, let's just say I can make a spherical mold.
Okay.
That's good. I think we got Alistair or Althea, whatever his name is, tactics guy on that too. But yeah.
Yeah, you're part of the party, and we want what you want. Everybody help each other. And
We can waste this time.
all that
He's
stuff.
not part of the team.
Yeah.
Currently making one. Anyways, Boom, you definitely can do that if you have a way to do it, which you probably do. But as you begin to go around, you have the map. Well, you don't have the map, but I think one of you has a map. And like put it in your own location. Even if you don't, you have the Z team and the rest of the guys. I'm going to say this time it's one of the shield guards. I think that was the green guys. One of the dwarven shield guardians move forwards. George moves over and then states, all right, then it shouldn't only be about 200 yards facing to the north. If you're all ready, we can go ahead and either go in as a contingency or would you like Vanguard to go in first? There are 35 of us. I don't know why some of us just didn't stay in town, but No one really clarified that, so we all went.
Fine. Yeah, no. I think maybe this is kind of a diplomatic mission sort of thing. We're going to ask a favor of this person. Maybe we don't go in all, hey, look at my army.
That's fair enough. I mean, we didn't ask anything about the man, just that someone that could help us. Man
Yeah,
or woman,
so-
we don't honestly know. We just know that they're a mage.
Right, and mages don't typically, correct me if I'm wrong, looking at the group, but mages don't typically take well to a bunch of armed unannounced visitors.
Look at the nearly no mages here.
Yeah, it's like looking at like halfway at Toulouse and like at
You look
Kobo, who's like never had a visitor.
You look like halfway towards Toulouse, halfway towards Boom. Kobo-ish. Nom Nom's more medical. And Brack keeps saying he doesn't do magic, but you feel like that's a lie.
The dude's covered in magic.
Either way, you didn't ask.
How's about all you guys just stay within shouting range?
We could push them a little further back than that if we think that there's going to be trouble. Give me 10 minutes and I can go ahead and sort of prepare here. So I'm going to go ahead and go up to Slash and Antidote and ask them if they're okay with me casting Rary's telepathic bond on them.
Antidote does state, I don't know what that is. That's not
Well,
his cadence.
It'll allow you to communicate with the rest of basically Kobo, Gothos, Toulouse, myself, basically anybody I include in this, up to 8 people.
I mean, that's
We'll
fine,
all
but
be inside your head.
aren't we supposed to stay back while you guys move forwards?
Exactly. So if something goes wrong, well, we can yell to you without having to yell to you. And you can also inform us if there's anything going on without having to scream from outside.
That does make sense. Well, that shouldn't be too much of an issue. And Slash agrees on that. That's fine.
All right. And Eldith, are you willing for me to cast the Rory's telepathic bond that I said I wasn't going to tell you about?
This is like the second time you don't tell her about that.
So that you can
she's
secretly... So you can secretly have the ability to communicate with us without actually knowing that?
That's a weird sentence. She does state, that is fine. As long as you aren't always intruding in my mind.
Trust me, the very last thing on this planet, even beyond death, that I would ever want to do is annoy you. I do mean that sincerely. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and sit down and spend 10 minutes casting this spell. And I will cast it on Eldith, Antidote, Slash, Kobo, Gothos, Toulouse. Actually, I guess in this case, I'm going to go ahead and cast it on Bract if he's technically available, and then, of course, myself.
Yeah. Main squadron and these 3.
All right. And that way we've got plenty of redundancy as far as getting the message out to the group. And yeah, we can all communicate with each other now.
All right. You all begin to learn semaphore and then begin to take out small little flags. You can all communicate now. Moving the 200 yards further to the north, you do see a small little cottage-like area inside of the petrified forest. Around it, you do see like small little birch trees that are also still petrified, but a lot more sturdier, surprisingly enough. Because they're so thin, they would be obviously a lot more breakable, but have yet to break, which is interesting. There is a small little porch there, and someone just rocking on a rocking chair. Let's be frank. They can't see you unless you stealth immediately.
Yeah, probably not much reason to stealth if we're trying to ask for a favor. I mean, yeah, It's always great to look suspicious when you want something from somebody.
True. At this distance, you can't really make out any details other than they have a very brimmed, broad hat and a cloak that is darker than night. Although it's kind of hard to tell with, no light here. If you do have dark vision, you can see the silhouetted form of him, them, whatever they are. But they are basically cloaked in darkness. Really no real descriptors other than some small filigree here and there. And like a shine that might be present of glasses. Do you guys just move forwards?
I think that's the plan, unless anybody says otherwise.
So we just saw like glasses eyes.
A sheen near the eyes that might be relevant or connected to glasses. You're not sure. There's no light here, so that type of reflection doesn't make sense.
This might stop and be like, huh. And poke at it.
You rush over towards him and poke him in the eye?
No, I don't rush up. Just like, sorry, I thought he was a mural or something? No?
No, he's like 100 yards away now.
Oh, okay, sorry. Sorry. Yeah, no, we'll continue towards him.
He's within range where your dark visions, maybe minus Kobo, unless he has his goggles on right now, can see him, but not so close that you can just poke at him. Which is why I mentioned stealth. But not wanting to go in stealth, you begin to draw towards the porch and the rocking chair until you can actually see him. Well, kind of. Still shadow.
The optometrist.
As mentioned beforehand, they do have a very brimmed hat, that weird shine near the eyes that aren't now glasses, but something quite literally within the face itself, but you can't see any details around them. They do have a coat around them that is not casting any light, any reflection whatsoever, which honestly in darkness makes sense, but when you have dark vision, you see no grays, no tinted tones that would suggest not everything's the same color. Rather, you see something that is just pitch black with no real ebbs or flows. That honestly even suggests wrinkles. There are some like nice filigree gold markings here and there. That could be decorative, or if you are a alchemist or a forge caster, which are two names that aren't technically what I meant, you could understand this.
I immediately recognize it as him buying out all the stock from the Vanta Black vendor.
Yeah. So, if you're a wizard or not Pfizer, you can understand the symbolism. Gold stuff on him. Is anyone one of those two?
A what?
One's a wizard.
Really? Who? Kobo, are you a wizard? You got lots of books.
I am not.
I'm going to say for this purposes, Nomnum and Bract are there, but they don't qualify for this.
And what's the role?
A wizard or artificer. If you are, Arcana.
Okay.
Does Blade Singer count as wizard?
Yes, which is why I mentioned it.
Me
Kobo's
too.
got lots of books. Doesn't he qualify?
He's a sorcerer.
Why do I even bother rolling things? I mean, I had a +7 in that, so naturally I was going to fail.
Yeah, and also he does have books, but those are the books that Toulouse lent to him to learn how to read, and he just learned how to read. He's not beginning the process of learning arcane-based magic rather than blood-based magic.
That was a copy of Tusk Love.
Old and used. As you begin to sense the whatever symbolism that might be on him, you do notice the gold filigree around him, and you can tell that they're markered, indicating maybe magical sensations, but you can't really make them out. They do seem familiar for some reason, not for the reason like, oh, I've seen this before. It's more like, I've seen something like this before, or vaguely remember these types of symbols, but it's not quite there, because a 10 is so within medium range, I can't give you anything. Not even mess with you. ruining my fun, Boom, by getting a 10.
I
You
could roll
don't
an
really
8 or something if that would help.
Nah, it's fine. You don't really see anything, but you don't sense danger other than just no descriptors. But the individual in front of you, male or woman, hard to tell, but for now, let's say masculine, because they do have a more deep-toned voice. They do look towards you, and in the rocking chair, they do get up. Standing towards you, they are lanky, they are very thin, but they stand at maybe 8 feet tall. So even giving Bract a run for his money. How do you do? What brings you all to the forest, I suppose?
I'd say a sharp eye, but it was definitely an eye.
Greetings, mage. We come from the city of Sloopadoop, where we've been informed that you might help us. I am Gothos, and these are my companions, who may introduce themselves in their own times.
My own times is now. I am Boom of the thunderstorm.
Brack probably spits on the ground and says nothing. Nom probably introduces himself. Kobo goes behind Boom and introduces himself as Kobo. Because that was so quiet, man.
Yeah, that was kind of the point. He was very mousily saying it. He doesn't know this guy yet.
And Toulouse
Kobo,
gets on a
mentor of
giant mech,
paladins.
intimidating him, saying no names, which is fine. This individual does look towards you all and simply states, how do you do? I don't really see that many goblins, halfling hybrids, or catfolk around here. Pleasure. Slipperdoop, that's mainly Klatoa and Duragar. But I suppose times have changed since I've been here for a while. Greetings, my name is... Oh, yeah.
Unknown to me even
What was that, Gothas?
Unknown to me even now.
Unknown to me even now. No, I always forget. You already know I forget people's names.
It's okay.
That is a name I have not used in a great many years.
You hear something? No. That does make sense now that I think about it. You do hear him state a name, but you can't, well, your brain doesn't really want to pick it up. It's like a weird sensation of like, if you've ever been in the type of situation when you've talked with someone and they've given you their name and you forget it like the next 2 seconds, it's that type of feeling. But it's weird. It's like your brain didn't even want to pick it up at the start. Didn't even want to hear it.
That's me every day, unfortunately.
Works for us.
There's
It's funny, it really is a disability, even if it's a minor one.
Yeah. But this is something not natural, but you can tell that, but they don't, you can tell they said something. But regardless of that, if you want to understand that or not, it's entirely up to you. But they do state towards you. But you did say you needed help. I suppose I do have the time. Right now I am working on something, but it's currently in the back burner. What is it that you need?
Less of a function of we need a thing rather than we have a thing that needs doing.
That is still a necessity, or not a temperance, I suppose.
Gothos
a request.
Will pull the eye out of the bag.
Okay. The good one or the bad one? Well, the good one or the slightly damaged one?
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll start with the damaged one. Let's see what he says.
Okay. You take it out and they like come a little bit closer. They don't actually move any closer. They just bend down because they're so damn tall. Alright, this looks like a primary beholder eye. A little bit damaged in the retina, but viable as long as you've preserved it, and based off of your bag, it does seem that you've managed to do so. What is it exactly that you require from this? Or are looking to acquire from this?
Yeah, see, I guess that's the problem I see. We don't have a particular expertise with this sort of material. We're simply wishing to not let it go to waste.
Are you looking to acquire potentially a new ability or magical item aspect of a thing?
You trade in such things?
I do. I also make some.
And in your estimation, what would be a worthy trade for an eye like this?
I suppose it depends on what you would like, but based off of, it's not impossible to find this, but it is quite rare. I suppose if you want quantitative amount, I can give you some money. Well, I can give you metals. I don't have any coins on me, but if that is not what you seek, I suppose I can find some. Wait for a moment. He goes into his into his little cottage area. He opens a door, but it's weird. Like his name, you just forget what you see when he opens the door, and then the door closes, and you feel like you lost a second there. He comes back out, and that weird sensation happens again until the door closes, and now he has like a bag that has like weird arcanic symbols on it, and then he opens it. But the bag itself, when he opens it, like goes flat, revealing like 5 items inside. Well, I suppose you can have one of these if you don't want, to make anything of yourself and forge something of your own volition. Here I have, he like picks up a giant battle axe. It's, how should I put it? It is known as the Thundering Roar. It does do battle axe damage, but also an additional 2d8 lightning damage. It's quite dangerous, so if you don't...
Jesus.
Yeah. Well, I suppose if you aren't careful, you will potentially kill yourself. So don't lick it. People do
So
do
not
that
for
some
Brack,
reason.
then. Hey-oh. No.
No, it's quite strange. A lot of people that use bladed weapons tend to lick their items for like dramatic postures, and well, with this you would just shock yourself. So do be careful on that. He like puts it back down. He picks up a short sword. This here is known as a vapor blade. He like tosses it towards you, and do you try to catch it?
I'd probably just shift my shield arm because I got the fancy shield.
Okay, it's not like he's throwing it at you to stab you. It's more like a gentle toss. So
Okay,
like
fine.
you repose
Yeah,
it
if
with
it's-
your shield.
Yeah.
It's
If
fine
it's,
either way.
like the 45 degree in the air. But yeah.
You repose it with your shield or try to grab it, and the blade itself just goes through either, and then like hits the ground. The vapor blade itself can only be wielded by the current. What's the word that is used now? I suppose attuned. No one else can steal it from you, and it is a +2 weapon. Rather strong itself, but you won't be unarmed if anyone tries to take it from you.
Certainly not bad.
No, I think so. He puts it back.
If any of you guys, by the way, want some of this, feel free to chime in.
Oh yes, if you have other things, I can trade for other things, or we can make something ourselves. He takes out another thing that is a giant spear, and I'm talking giant spear. Like when you looked at it on the ground, it's just a standard spear. When he grabbed it, it always felt like it was this height, but it extends out to like 30 feet when he picks it up, or at least it looks like it extended 30 feet. This here is known as the longbow spear. Basically, if someone's within 30 feet of you, you can attack with this. It doesn't cause any problems or any of that sort. It is a very enchanted pole arm. So if you are good with pole arm, you can easily do this. being
Boom,
that
you
you
know
are
how to use
touched.
pole arms?
The only one I'm good at's a quarterstaff. I don't think that counts. That's more like $1.50 staff.
I don't know. It depends if you can use a spear.
I can use a dagger. That's like a spear with a really, really short handle.
Nah, that doesn't work. Basically, very long, magic spear that you can attack at 30 feet away. So it's good. It's not like crazy good, but it is good.
I was just thinking of how we were discussing earlier how Boom is like the glassiest cannon.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that'd be good.
But he puts it back down, and you swear it went back down to 10 feet, but it's weird. This guy is weird. He takes out the fourth item, and you do see like 2 boots with like thunder on it. It looks stylized. These here are the thunder clap boots. They allow the wearer to either use thunder step once per day or misty step twice per day. It depends on the enchanted being.
New shoes.
Getaway boots, huh?
They are quite nice. Yes.
Good.
You want some getaway boots there, Kobo? I hear you.
I knew he'd start bringing that up as soon as I heard them.
Yeah, well, new shoes are nice. I would like some nice new shoes. I've got some magical crystals and some other things I can.
No, I tell you what, I'll trade the damage die for the getaway boots for Kobo. But then, now that we've sort of introduced one another, we've got things trade going. I have my prime thing.
I mean, that is the 5th item, but I suppose if that's...
Oh yeah, no, show me the 5th item. That's...
All right.
I thought you were leading up. I thought you like the 4th and final item.
No, I said 5.
No, okay. Yeah, let's see the 5th. We can look.
I want to make it this item because it's funnier this way.
Now you want to trust drama?
No, he picks something up from the ground and he shows you it, but you don't see anything. This here is one of my final items. If you had something of very precious value, I suppose I could be willing to trade for it. And then he puts it back down.
Excuse my ignorance, sir, but I'm afraid my mundane eyes did not see much of that last item.
That is the entire point of it. It is an invisible item itself. Only the enchanted can actually see it or perceive it unless you have true sight. You will always have sneak attack on your first swing against any opponent unless they have true sight or devil sight.
I assume that only works for rogues out of character.
Not really.
Jiminy Christmas.
He does tell you not really. But at a game, it is a bladed weapon. You can choose whatever bladed weapon you want, including a polearm. But it does give you advantage on your first swing, or if you're a rogue, sneak attack.
Okay. That's spicy.
Yeah. Although I suppose since it is invisible to most of you, I can see why you only thought I had 4 items.
Yes, it was very confusing.
It was going to be another item, but because you made it like, oh, that's all of them, right? It's in the invisible blade now.
That's funny. But you said that invisible blade was not something that you would trade for this particular eye.
Not that one. You did mention you wanted to get to the, well, I call them the thunderclap boots, but I suppose you can call them the getaway boots. Oh, but
no, I think that'd be good. Kobo, you can get some thunderclap boots. I'll trade the damage die for that.
Did you still want the fancy sword to loose? Did you want the fancy sword, invisible sword thing? Because I might be able to help if you wanted.
Loose might have fallen asleep.
No, I didn't. I just feel sick.
Okay.
Sorry.
They were
I'm
muted.
here. I'm kind of hanging out
No.
here. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
What is the sword?
It's
Does,
a fancy weapon that gives you sneak attack every round.
Sure.
So, Kobo, you said you were going to help with that?
I can help if you want to get the sword because it's actually really cool for him.
Sure.
I go up to the wizard. It's like I got a secret if you want to know.
I suppose. He bends even more. The dude's so damn tall. And you're
Well,
all
I just
short,
kinda-
minus Boom. Brat.
Yeah, I pull my backpack over into the side pocket of my backpack. I reach around or fiddle around and I pull out a small book. And it's a thin book, but it's all wrapped up and it's just leather bound. And I said, "This has got some special magic knowledge in it. I don't suppose knowledge is actually worth something to you. Probably is, isn't it?
It is.
Magic users like it."
I suppose. Tell me now, where exactly did you find this, and what is it inside, might I ask?
It's just a book. It's a book. It's instructions, and I got them from a real cool friend of mine. And he gave me this, and I reach in, and right next to the book was a little tiny vial of ink. I said, "I bet you'd think this is pretty neat magic."
This is rather vague.
Well, here, I'll go ahead and I'll open it up and I'll show him the first page.
I'm assuming you're showing the tattoo instructions.
Yep, notes and instructions on how to make magical tattoos and how to make magical inks.
He does look towards it, like at a glance, and he does state, "It isn't something I heavily worked on, but I
Oh,
don't.
could have new avenues.
I suppose the magical inks I've made plenty myself, but the arcane imprinting on another is interesting. Although I'd really have no use for it. It is good knowledge, though, I suppose. Go ahead and roll persuasion."
I was gonna say, if he doesn't really want it, I've got some other things. I just figured, knowledge would be something he'd be interested
I mean, it is interesting, but it's like nothing he can use. Like, magic tattoos are cool. And he...
Cats would show up great on him.
Okay. Well, I do also have this instead if it's something that you might be more interested in. And I pull out a strange-looking crystallized dagger. Would the crystal in here be interesting to you?
The crystal looks rather familiar. Where did you acquire it?
I got it from a pool of magic water that had this weird big crystal floating in the center of it. And whenever the water touched it, turned into a magic crystal, kind of like the big one in the middle.
Yeah, Kobo, you might want to get some craft out of that. So maybe with your condensed magical relic.
Sorry, say that again?
You might want to get something crafted out of that. But
Yeah,
hey, it's
but
your
I-
condensed magical crystal.
Oh, yeah, I've got...
He's not showing the crystal. He's showing a dagger that he like dipped into it.
Oh,
That
okay.
coated
I thought
it
he was showing them
in the
the
crystal.
crystal itself. My bad.
No, no.
Never mind then.
No,
Never
I've
mind.
got...
He
I've
stole
got
the crystal
3 of
too, but he's
those.
not showing you
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I've got 3 of those little... I'm just showing the dagger that got crystallized because it turned into the same stuff.
He does state,
It's a
yeah.
pretty neat crystal.
It is. I suppose you already know what it does, so... It would be interesting to have that material again. I don't get out that often. Although I usually get my familiars to acquire it, it has been some time since I've known the locations again. But obviously, since you already have this, and somehow you didn't yourself turn into a chrysalis, I suppose we could do business if you have more of this. Como says no, and it's mine. Kobo, do you have any more? It's what he asked.
Kobo?
Hello? Can people hear me now?
Yes.
I had an audio drop. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, we
Yes.
can hear you. The guy asked you for more.
Hello.
Oh, okay. I did not hear him. I lost him.
Basically, he said, this is quite interesting. Since you already know what this is, since you haven't accidentally turned yourself into a chrysalis, we could do business here. Depends if you have any more.
Oh, you want more than just the crystallized dagger of this thing for the invisible weapon?
Well, this is a byproduct of the chrysalis stone. So I suppose if you don't have the chrysalis, if you have more of the byproduct, it would be beneficial.
Oh, wait, where is it? I got this. I don't know if this is asking too much, though. Wait, we have telepathic bond.
Yeah.
I telepathically say to Gothos. I also have the flask of water that Roswin gave me before she left. But is that like too valuable for just that? Is this a good trade?
I'm gonna level with you, Kobo. I don't remember what that magic water does.
It does the same thing that turned the crystal into the crystal. It was the same water. The weird stone dripped water, and whenever you touched a dagger into that water, the dagger turned into a crystal. Somehow, using Mage Hand, me and Roswin and Toulouse were able to get a little flask of that liquid.
It's like staring at each other intently. No,
But
Like
isn't
a
that
solid
stuff
minute.
really valuable? You seem to think that stone was really important, so I didn't know about that.
That's honestly, that's mostly me out of character. But it did seem like a pretty
He didn't
important
mention
thing.
it. He also mentioned it by name, so now you know its name.
Yeah, the chrysalis stone, but that still doesn't mean anything to Kobo.
True.
He's not that educated.
Yeah, this guy seems pretty on the level at least already. He's given us something. I don't see there's any harm in letting him know that we have it.
Okay.
Study his reaction. See if it's more valuable than the dagger.
Okay. Well.
Study the no-faced
I
man's
turned back-
reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. I turn back to the guy and say, well, we do have the actual thing. But I believe that's worth actually quite a lot.
It can be. Do you have it with you now, or is it at your domicile?
I got to here. And I'm
Are you showing him the crystal or the water? I thought
He hasn't shown him anything yet other than the dagger.
I go ahead and pull the flask of liquid out.
More byproduct. So, again, you have proven yourself that you are able to acquire the byproduct, but that is not the crystal itself, but it does show me that you at least know its location. I suppose if you are willing to share the location or truly have the crystal, I'd be more than willing to barter, trade, if you'd like.
I actually have that. Hold on. Let me go through my long list of.
I know one of you stole the crystal or removed it.
Yeah,
Kobo.
Roz. Yeah,
What was it, Roz?
Kobo has the crystal right now, along with the flask of water.
Mm.
But Kobo also has a hand-drawn map of the area.
So you want to cheat this man?
If he just can't help himself.
So
You
it's
just
in
can't
his
help
nature.
yourself.
He thinks that crystal's too valuable for just a weapon. He'd be getting a lot more out.
You can ask for more, dude. But if you want to cheat him, go for it.
You're
that
the
is
worst
Kobo's-
negotiator.
If that is Kobo's initial thought, go with it. Run with it.
Well, that's just it though.
Can I hear those thoughts? Can I go, no?
Yeah. Yeah, because I was sharing with
I
you
think,
Gothos, so yeah.
Boom, correct me if I'm wrong. Unless you're actively using the spell, you wouldn't hear each other's minds.
That's probably pretty fair.
I
was
actually
teasing.
don't know. I was kind of working under that assumption initially, but it doesn't explicitly state whether it's basically a party line or if you can pick who you're talking to. I'm actually trying to look that up right now because I'm curious.
Actually, Gothos would look at me anyway because he knows we took the crystal. So if I try and pull
I
out
feel
a
like
map,
that's
he's
a
gonna find
heavy
me.
meta
No.
right there.
The only thing that Gothos said is, I feel like this guy's on the level. And then Kobo's like, all right, let's cheat him.
I wasn't all right. Let's cheat him. I wasn't that dead set on it yet. I was just looking. See, I was undecided, but now you've got me really undecided.
I'm gonna say for now
Well-
you can't read each other's minds. If we
Okay.
That can't.
for now you can't
I'll see.
unless you are actively using the spell.
I feel like that's probably like an opt-in thing. It's like, hey, we're communicating with you. And then it's like, okay, I can't prevent this, but also only like command thoughts. And it's like, oh, if you just want to like have a running commentary, you can let us opt in to your brain thoughts or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, my thinking on the bond was basically just that if whoever you consciously want to hear you can mentally hear you if they're part of the group, and if they want to communicate back, they have to mentally say, that they're essentially mentally focused that direction. So basically, you're choosing who can hear you. That would be my
walkie-talkies.
assumption.
D&D walkie-talkies, right?
But
Mhm.
yeah, but that's
But
my
like if
thinking, but
you
it doesn't
if you
explicitly
wanted
state
to,
that.
if you had your D&D walkie-talkie and you're just like, all right, I'll just leave it on, you could do that too, right?
Essentially.
The impression I'm getting is if you're doing that, you could have everybody hear what you're saying, but those people would still have to consciously sit there and want to talk back to you. So you could open mic, but you wouldn't automatically hear everything else coming back unless they were trying to talk to you. It's my best guess.
Everybody's pushed to talk until they click open mic.
Basically.
But yeah, I'm gonna say for now, Gothos can't read your mind. He can if he wants to, or he can if you let him. But
Okay. It's
up to you.
All right. Yeah. Okay, Gothos here. Well, actually, no. I'm just gonna talk to the guy. Well, what about the crystal here and the water here? I mean, isn't that worth something here?
It is just not one of these
Is
items.
it worth?
I can offer you. Let's see here. You have. It's a good
It's
amount.
not worth that. It's not worth that fancy invisible sneaky weapon.
Oh, my no. It is worth 2 gold bars though. He like presents 2 cylinder gold bars, taken out of who knows where.
Oh my goodness.
Like you don't know how much money it's worth, but it's like as thin as a pencil, but as long as a pencil. So that's still a good amount of gold.
Can I get a ruling on whether or not I have here in my inventory a acid resistant spell book? I don't remember exactly where we got that, but I don't think I gave it to Roswin. Did I?
I don't remember.
I know, and I'm just thinking that would be something this guy might want. Sorry.
I want to say for now, since we don't remember, it's not in play.
Sounds good.
If someone else remembers, then it's in play.
Yeah.
So
Just go back and...
okay, go ahead.
No, you go.
So the chrysalis water and the chrysalis dagger aren't enough for the weapony thingy.
Not for the item, but they are good material, good component material. I am willing to, as the people that come by from time to time state, willing to barter with gold, silver. I don't know. Do people still use Electrum?
Occasionally, yeah.
I do have some Electrum if you prefer that.
What kind of coinage is going to make up the difference between what my fine friend here is offering and the invisible dagger?
Again, I don't really use coins. He shows you the 2 gold bars again.
All right. What about this? I got a can here. Tin can. Very interesting.
Very nice can.
Yeah. Inside is a living demonic eyeball, I think.
It's quite true, since your friend over there has one floating around them. Is there any particular reason why you have that one canned?
This one's different.
I suppose so.
Question mark.
I don't really know. I suppose I should ask, why do you have it canned?
Out of character, I can't really remember, but I think it was attacking us, or it was found. Yeah, I don't remember.
You guys have fought a lot of eyes. I don't remember all of them. You literally fought
fair assessment.
19 eyes the other day.
Well, to be fair, it says in my inventory a demon marble, but
it's even more confusing now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look way back, but I don't remember.
Don't worry too much about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so considerations seem to have fallen through a little bit towards this magic.
He does state, though, if you'd like, I can buy it off of you and investigate it myself, so you're no longer carrying it. I suppose another gold bar presents another gold bar would be sufficient, since you're not fully aware or can't, at this time, remember what it's for. Might as well have gold instead of something that you're carrying for potentially no reason.
Clearly, sir, you have no grasp of my mentality.
I suppose that's true. We just recently met about a half hour ago.
What is one of those gold bars worth in coinage?
I don't really know, but if I had to guess, maybe 50 gold?
I don't know. This isn't even my horse race.
Boom, you see if he's telling the truth.
It would be 90 hours of negotiation.
Boom, based off the information you've been given and based off of his not really full contemplation of how much it's really worth, yeah, 50 gold based off if you melt it into this bar, yeah, it'd be worth that much.
Okay, Gothos just takes out his bag of coaling now, and he's like, all right, how many beholder eye stalks am I going to have to put on the table to make this even?
A lot of those look, well, burnt at the ends for some reason.
We did actually get some good ones, yeah.
No, I got some good ones from the guy that was the main eye was damaged, but I got some good ones from the eye stalks from that guy.
Oh, you're right. I think you got like 4 of them. I think 4.
My inventory says 5, but I probably got one from the other guy.
Oh yeah, that's probably true.
4 good ones. 4 good ones, 1 bad one.
You take like 4 eye stalks and like how much eyes to make this right? Oh, more beholder eyes. Well, you did say you took one down, or rather, this giant one indicates that you took one down. I suppose if you're willing to part with more of those, and as long as they were taken care of quite well, I think you put them in your preserved bag, so they should be.
Bag of coaling, yes.
Yeah.
Tons for everyone. looking at Kobo and then at Toulouse, because I know this is for them. It's like, we're losing a lot of magical wands here, all right?
I suppose I can take 3 off your hands, including the ones that Mr. Kobo here, pray tell, mentioned, and would be enough for the blade.
Swear to me.
Pardon?
Square. Everything's right.
Oh.
Right angles.
Oh, sure. I heard swear to me. I'm not quite sure what you mean. I don't really like to use profane language.
Must be the accent.
Okay, so that was the crystallized dagger and the flask of magic water from the crystal cave.
Yeah. And the 3 eye stalks.
Yep.
All right. I don't have those on my inventory.
I moved them.
Gothos does.
And okay, this is again, taking a little longer than we all expected, but
Because you switched up what you wanted to do, man.
one
Didn't
main.
switch that much.
What
Well,
can
it
you
went from trying to
craft?
make an item to selling to.
What is it possible for you to craft from one very good condition, fresh, patriarch beholder eye?
I suppose if you found a patriarch one, that'd be quite an impressive feat. In fact, if you found a matriarch one, even better. Quite a lot, actually. It depends.
I'm unfamiliar with how to gender a beholder.
Oh, that's what you implied. Oh, my bad. I thought you found a progenitor. Beholder.
Oh yeah, no, the one that the eyeball that we just gave you is a progeny of this eyeball here.
Gothos roll deception?
I thought it was. I genuinely thought that was true.
No. Like, yeah, beholders make other beholders by, dreaming, blah, blah, blah. But you don't know about these two. The second one you guys found, just wanted to kill the other one.
Okay, well, whatever. 22.
It's a good lie. He believes you. Oh, you found, I suppose it's offspring, and I suppose it's a little morbid, but I suppose if they hurt you well enough, you kill them, and then whatever progeny they have after. It's a little macabre, but who am I to judge you? I do live in a petrified forest. All by myself, except my shadow hounds.
Hey, don't
About
judge
that.
me. This one was trying to cut off the eyes of other beholders and graft it onto itself.
They all have their habits. But he looks
Including
towards...
dreaming their progeny to existence and then eating them sometimes. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's quite weird. He looks towards Boom. Did you have something to say, Mr. Boom? Was it?
I was curious. You wouldn't. Yes, thank you. You wouldn't happen to know how this forest got petrified, would you?
We're on the brink of a deal, man.
Quite some time ago, but I do say that I wasn't always so excellent with my magical properties. Accidentally, within a mile radius inside of this forest, created it.
That's actually quite interesting and quite impressive. But yeah, everybody has their less glamorous moments, and well, I got to admit that this one makes for some pretty exotic landscape. Sorry to be interrupting your deal, Gothos.
We all have a fault from time to time. But about the eye, I could potentially make a variety of things. One major one would be a nullifying lantern. Within a line radius of, give or take 30 feet, you could potentially nullify one's innate magical properties of an individual. Or individuals if they all, for some reason, line up singularly. If that's not to your liking, I can potentially make more, but that's the one that comes to mind right now. Based off of this being the main eye.
I mean, unless you're particularly versed in shield craft. I mean, I do have a very fine shield of my own here. But yeah, unless you know of a way to incorporate that into a shield.
There is a way, but it would nullify, the eye itself. It would be changing the property of your shield, and we would need a blacksmith for this. Even an amateur or recently learned one would do. But I would need to make the eye into a type of paste, and then reforge the shield itself, temper it into the shield, and you would have a heavily magical resistant shield that could have magical damage done to you. still
sledge, you say? Yes. Could you prepare it here, and then we could have the blacksmith apply it, or is this sort of all in one deal?
No, I would need to do it while they are melting the shield, and then apply it while they are tempering the shield. However, it would, depending on the shield you use, ruin its main properties, I imagine.
Gothos shifts his own shield. Could he do it to this one? And just to remind you, it's the one that splits in half, and you can use as like extra attack.
Yeah. He does state it can be used, but it would need to be fully fused together, which means you would lose the moving apart ability.
Which, out of character, because this has been a weird shield for us, because I can attack twice.
You can still attack twice. It just no longer thematically opens up.
Which is fine. I'm just wondering about, like, it just stays as like a +2 weapon, +2 shield.
It stays a +2 shield. It honestly, nothing really changes except for that weird thing I gave.
That's the thing where it splits in half, so you can use it as like a bonus attack. And I'm like, but I want a shield bash. Yeah, no, sounds good to me. What do you charge for this sort of service?
Again, I don't really have any useful material. Well, money. Is something you have? I can take more eye stalks, but you only have 2 left, and I'd rather not take everything from you. Well, 2 left in the giant eye.
2 eye stalks, a non-existent acid spellbook, eye in a jar, crystal leaf, glowing shroom. Yeah, not too many more magical things, but
I've got like magical component-y stuff, but he didn't really seem overly interested.
In the tattoo book.
Yeah, which you were like willing to take maybe if I really didn't want it, but you were not interested in it at all, really.
Yeah.
You know?
It was more or less, sorry, Kobo, taking pity.
Yeah, see, that's not what I wanted. I'm sure it would be of more value to me if you really don't want it, you know. If you did want and go, ooh, that's a new way to do magic, then it would have value for you, but it didn't.
He also doesn't get that many guests that often. So he would have no real need for it. He would be willing to take it, but it would be persuasion.
Yeah.
Gothos
I'm not just trying
has
to force stuff on stuff.
Gothos, yeah, like I was saying, he has some crystal leaves, some crystalline wood. This is all from probably the magical area.
Probably.
He
does
magical mushroom.
All that stuff. All that stuff could be potentially useful, but based off of how he's currently working, not really for him. He already got the glowing stuff, the crystal from Kobo. So some of the crystal stuff you have would be essentially the same stuff. The only thing that would be different would be the glowing mushroom, but based off of the Underdark and what this guy is, he might be able to find that.
I do have something else. I don't know. We were protecting it for a while, but now it seems like it don't matter.
I mean,
Got a cursed dagger. Do you think he would want that?
You still have that?
I have been carrying it. I repaired it, and it's been in my backpack ever since.
Is that part of the curse? You take care of things?
No, it's like Gothos' curse, and he just leaves stuff in his bag.
No, I've got it. It's the cursed Winter Fae and Drow God Dagger thinger.
Oh, yeah. You've never sold it. Even every time you find someone able to sell it
I've
too,
tried, yeah.
you just don't sell it.
Dump it. We're in the Underdark now.
Yeah. I was going to say, a lot of times whenever I offer it up, it's people, well, I don't really want that, so...
Well, you keep saying, we have this cursed dagger. No, thank you. No curses. Do you tell him?
No, this is all psychically to Gothos.
I know.
We
It,
have this magical dagger.
like, Kobo, you tell this to
Okay.
Gothos, and each time you tell someone that's cursed, they basically say no. But based off of how this guy works, he might say yes, but I don't know, maybe don't lead with curse.
I'll just kind of pick it up, still wrapped in its cloth, and let Gothos do the talking.
Also, this magical dagger, which I super wouldn't recommend touching, although I feel like you're an expert enough to know that it is indeed magical.
Oh, yes. Let's take a gander here, if you don't mind.
Again, probably wouldn't recommend touching it, but hey, you're the boss.
I mean, unfurling it from the cloth. But yes, he like lightly lifts the cloth and revealing the dagger. Oh, this! Huh.
This is what I have for it.
It is quite cursed, but it is effectively breakable. If you are willing to part with it, it would be sufficient, and I suppose I can pay you the dividends. Again, don't have any coins, but I can give you the metal.
Requisite precious metals. So you're suggesting that this dagger, in addition to the other offerings that we have here, will more than pay for your services towards augmenting the shield?
Yes.
And we've already achieved basically all the other magic items we wanted.
I suppose so. Unless you want the bag. He refills the bag, and it goes back into a weird bag. When he opened it, there was like no seam broken, and it was like flat on the ground. When he picks it up, again, no seam broken, but it's a bag now, and it just feels weird. The stuff he's make is cool, but it feels weird. It feels wrong.
Honestly, it kind of hurts my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if it was like a normal bag of holding, I'm definitely in the market because I lost one. But if it's like really weird, I don't know if I can use it without getting a headache.
Yeah.
I get
One
dizzy every time I try
transaction
and
at
grab
a
my
time.
stuff. Yeah.
But he does state,
Oh,
yes, the dagger itself would be more than enough payment, and I would give you the dividends of the payment itself, of course.
Yeah, we'll go through the brain link again real quick. Okay, yeah, actually, Kobo, I can probably remove the curse from that dagger, maybe. With like a lot of concentration, but I feel like we're getting a lot of good daggers lately.
yeah, I've got plenty of really awesome daggers. I don't even know what this one really does. but
Toulouse
when was
strapped
the
to the
last time I
nines
used
with
a dagger?
daggers.
Yeah. Now she's
When
got
was the last time I actually used a dagger? I was trying to think of a nice way to give Toulouse my dragon claw dagger because it's not like I've ever actually used it.
Alright, then it's a bunch of gold and some paste, and now say out loud. You told us your name, sorry, earlier. It didn't stick in my head, it just felt like pain. And then, so are we gonna have to bring the blacksmith here, or are you gonna come with us?
Either way, if I do leave, one moment. He like whistles out. Well, it feels like a whistle, but you hear no sound, kind of like a dog whistle. And then you see 4 giant, mastiff shadow hounds appear out of nowhere. Just like him, really no defining features about them. And then he like goes to speak with them. And then you hear him call their names, but like his name, like that weird fuzziness in your brain, causing you to zone out, not hearing them, happens.
It's like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Mr. Robot, but it's like when he starts to realize he's just like that kind of a noise, but be more high pitched. Anyway, sorry, go on.
That's fine. He does basically state to them, if you want me to go, I'll go. And then looks back to them. It's gonna be weird, but this is how he would say it. Now come. Daddy does have to go away for a bit, but I'll be back in about, you said you sleep a doop? In about, give or take 8 hours. Make sure you keep the place guarded. No one comes in and out of the house. Make sure to watch over the chimney as well. One of the dogs begins to bark. Oh, yes, it should be fine. Right now, there are no worms around, so just keep watch over them. And if you do find any trails, get any of the acid around the pool and bring it back here. One of the other ones barks as well. Oh, no, they haven't come here just yet. They went further south into the area, but luckily enough, it should be fine. And another one barks. Oh, yes, that's quite right. And then the last one barks. Oh, that's interesting. Well, I suppose it should be fine. They seem nice enough. I don't think that they have been corrupted in any way. You feel like he's talking about you guys, but I'll ask him. And then the dogs go back into the shadows and disappear. All right then. Should we get going?
Was he just speaking normal language that whole time?
He's talking to your dog or cat.
Yeah, we heard his half of the conversation.
Purple worms?
Oh, yes. From time to time, they do wander around in the Underdark. I do collect the poisons, acids. They make for very, very destructive and very useful components. Although, right now, since I am going away from my house, my familiars/dogs do have to watch over it. I don't want any random passerby just ransacking the place.
I mean, who likes random visitors that don't bear very valuable monster parts? Okay, around the corner is going to be a bunch of our friends. There's a lot of them. They're all right. You don't need to worry about them. They do what we say.
Oh, yes. One of my dogs did mention that you did have people around.
Oh yeah, lots of. We barely even know what to do with them.
And we didn't want to bother you with so many people on your doorstep, so we left them a little bit behind.
I mean, that's quite courteous of you.
Yeah, felt rude. Anywho, let's go and complete this wholesome transaction that we're doing. Didn't murder any sentient creatures at all. Let's just all push it to the back of our brains and have a nice trek through this lightless tunnel of horrors.
As you regroup with the main force, he basically does his whole spiel again. Speaks with the rest of your team. None of them understood his name. Thankfully enough, no one got attacked or no one was attacked.
So what did you guys end up getting exactly? I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to your negotiations.
The services of what appears to be an exceptionally powerful mage and or demigod to enhance my shield here.
Other than that, you also got the Phantom Blade, which is what I call the blade that gives you sneak attack for the first time each attack.
Pretty dope.
Yep.
And that's for Toulouse.
Or advantage if you're not a rogue.
And then we got the boots for me.
Hmm?
And I lightened my load a little bit.
That's true. Returning back to the area, nice enough. Shishar does greet. Let's call him X for right now. Because when he says their name, for some reason Shishar can say the name. But when you hear it, again, that weird fuzziness takes over. It's been quite some time. Yes, my friend, it has. A few years, but I'm glad you made it back. He gets told about Elrich, and they begin the process. Gothos, you come inside the more or less tent, because the blacksmith more or less ruined his place when he went crazy. But a lot of the materials were salvageable. Eventually, the process is made. He asks you, so were you able to manage to get the components for the casing of shell? And then you basically explain to him that he wasted his entire day. After a while, the shield is melted.
But we'll pay you for it.
I suppose.
Yeah,
like,
he's about to do some work, so we'll definitely be like, oh yeah, no, this is why we only had you do half the thing, because I was just hedging my bets here. I'll pay you for the cast though. What is that like? What's your hourly rate?
it only took 4 hours, so I suppose 10 gold an hour.
It's just all right, just because I wasted your time.
You're paying an artisan. D&D world, they
Yeah,
go for a lot.
Yeah.
That being the case,
Jeez.
though.
You're lucky I need you to forge something else, right?
That
40
being-
gold.
That
Here
being
you
the
go.
case, though, Gothos, you keep your money, and X basically states, "Oh, I can pay him a little bit of the dividends that was owed." He gives him like a gold bar, and then goes, "Oh, that reminds me," and he gives you 4 additional gold bars, Gothos, for the dividends. Again, those are roughly worth, according to the people that I spoke with, about 50 gold apiece. So I suppose he does owe you 10 gold. Eldritch just states, unfortunately, I don't have change on me. So I suppose that I get to keep the entire bar. But it's in his pocket. You're not getting them change, Gothos.
Just you put that in you put that extra value into what you're gonna forge next, okay, pal?
Eventually, the process is taking time, and it can more or less reuse the mold, just shape it so it forms into a shield rather than in a casing. It does take a few hours.